Chuck Yeager describes Bud Anderson as a mongoose in the air. As one of the world's greatest flying aces, you wouldn't want to tangle with him in an aerial dogfight. For sure, Bud and his lethal Old Crow P-51 became a German Me-109 exterminator, blowing Nazi fighters out of the sky during World War II. He and his 367th Fighter Group were responsible for shooting down a record 609 German fighters. In this rare interview, Bud not only uncorks some cool facts about flying the P-51, including his famous double reversal dogfight, but relives a flight over a communist stronghold in Vietnam with son Jim. Then, in a touching moment, Bud caps it off as he reveals the secret to his almost 70 years of marriage to Ellie, his wife for life. Good stuff from this triple ace warrior. Let's listen in for a moment.
I had my private pilot's license when I went to college. I do not very much civilian flying. I couldn't afford it. I was thinking about joining, but I was still 19. I had to be 20 to sign up for the aviation cadet program. The next month I turned 20, and I just went right straight to the recruiting office on my birthday. And 2 or 3 days later I was on my way. I said, oh my God, if we could get to fly this new airplane. But we hadn't even flown one, let alone, train or anything, We'd send a guy up to the port where they were bringing them in and reassembling them and say, well, how do you start the damn thing? Find a crew chief, and he started, brought it back to base, and then he checked the next guy out. It was a do-it-yourself checkout. In our case, lucky to get maybe 2 flights in the thing. Colonel came over and says, hey Bud, we're going to send you to the Royal Air Force flight instructor gunnery school, and you take a P-51 to go to the school instead of flying a Spitfire. And so here's another break. I got 35 hours in a Mustang before combat. Some guys were lucky to get 2 flights. Now that may sound bad, and well, it is bad, but you got to realize we were trained pilots and we were on our way to combat. I think I had 900 hours in fighters by that time, which was quite a bit, actually. He was making a pass at me, and I just out-climbed him. He dove away, and I'm following him. I think we did that twice, and then on the 3rd time I said, I'm not going to, I don't want to try this out zooming every time. I might not make it, And I think I'll try to cut inside of him and get a shot at him. Yep. Instead of diving, he pulled up and went and climbed. And so I went after him. Yeah, he stalls first, and that put me back on his tail. I'd say that's the only time I was even close enough where it could shoot at me. Well, he was in a special operations squadron. The combat mission was to fly over a communist stronghold and offer safe passage tickets. We took off and went over and did some broadcasting. And then he says, okay, Dad, get in the back and throw out those leaflets when next time we go by. And he was a second lieutenant, and I was a bird colonel. And normally a sergeant, a buck sergeant, would fly with him. And so I'm settling in, and I'm flying in the back seat with him. He was in high school, and I used to ask him, "Hey, you got any interest in the military?" And flying first. So I was asking him, you know, every 6 months or so, I'd ask him, "Hey, what are you going to do when you graduate?" You know, I wanted my little plan. I think he and his buddies got together and said, "What the hell are we going to do?" And said, "You know, Airforce might not be a bad idea. Flying is fun."
Absolutely.
And if you get a job you like to do, you can excel.
Not many people can say I was married for 70 years.
Yeah.
What's your secret?
Well, it's a compromise. I had to stay and work one time, and so I didn't get home when I normally do. And we're just training. And she was crying when I got home. And we had a big, long discussion about it. And I said, this is going to be the way it is. And I might be gone for a whole year. So I give her I take my hat off to her. She's the one that had the courage.
Looking back at all this, what would you like to be remembered for?
Well, Triple Ace, World War II. Be good.